biggest issue I have with this movie is if you look on IMDb or if you look at the trailers in general, they really talk about these three guys, the two military guys that are friends and their other friend who's just a civilian, who stopped this terrorist attack. But then at the end of the movie, and this isn't really a spoiler because this is a true event and it was on the news and stuff, so whatever. They show a fourth guy. He's like this older man, this fourth guy that's also getting a medal along with him. They talk about it being four people that stopped this event. And I'm like, who? Wait a minute, who's this other guy? They didn't show him at all. And I'm not sure what the deal with that was. I just wish they would have kind of explained who this other guy was more. He probably has a more interesting life. I don't know. Hey everybody, welcome to KM Reviews. I am Niddleman. Today I'm talking about 1517 to Paris, which is Clint Eastwood's new movie based on a true story about these three Americans that discover a terrorist plot while aboard a train in France. Now, this movie is interesting because it's actually portrayed by the actual military members and their friend who were actually a part of this event, who actually did this thing where they stopped this terrorist. It was all over the news a while ago, and now we have a movie about it. And kind of similar to Clint Eastwood's last movie, Sully, which is also about a true event. This is another event that's also very short in time that he has to develop an entire movie around. With Sully, he did a good job, but that movie had a lot more going for it because there was also an investigation going on and all that sort of stuff, a bunch of people's lives they focus on, etc. And it was portrayed by real actors, people like Tom Hanks. They didn't have the actual Sully guy playing himself. So it was an interesting choice to have non-actors do this. They've done that in other movies like Act of Valor, and I actually really loved that movie, so I wasn't too worried about it going in. Now, with that said, did I like this movie? Well, I will give you my rating for it right off the bat, and if you want to know why I gave it that rating, go ahead to stick around to find out why. I'm going to give 1517 to Paris blue balls. Look, this is a great story to tell. I just don't think the execution was done very well. Now, look, I was expecting to go into this movie being the most harsh on the acting because they're not trained actors and I thought they'd really suck. But to be honest, they weren't that bad. They were pretty believable in some scenes. Now, there were some scenes near the beginning, I think, where it was very stiff and very obvious they were not real actors, but I think the more they did the movie, the more they kind of eased into it and kind of relaxed. The main guy, Spencer, is who they really focus on, and I think he actually did a pretty decent job, all considered. I am really curious with them using the real guys, how much of this was honest, true to God, what happened in the dialogue, if it was said the way they said it, and how much of it was tweaked for the movie. To be honest, it was just a really stale movie up until the very ending. That ending sequence was top notch. I thought it was great. There was some good tension. You're like on the edge of your seat. But the rest of the movie is just lame. A couple examples of why this movie is not very good up until the ending are two main things. You got the part where they're focused on kids, and then the part where they focus on them as adults going on like this European vacation. Okay, now with them as kids, there's a scene in the movie where they're late to class and they get sent to the principal's office, but they act like it's this huge drama thing because it's this Christian school and kids aren't supposed to be like that. And the principal's talking to the moms, played by Jenna Fisher and Judy Greer, who are very good actresses, but the script is just not very good. So they have the principal talking to them saying, they're just not being up to our standards, and, I think they'd be better off if they lived with their dad. And the mom, is just like Jenna Fisher. She's just like, you can't tell me what to do. How dare you? But then the next scene is like, okay, she's sending her kid to live with her dad. What? Like, oh, he was late to class once, so you're going to give up custody of your child? I feel like that was either forced for the movie or they're leaving some stuff out of this movie that maybe they were uncomfortable with, but it just seemed like really strange because these kids were just being normal kids, but it felt very forced drama at the beginning. That's all I'm saying. Then you have them a little bit older and they're going on this European vacation, and that was a big bulk of the movie, and nothing interesting was happening. It was like watching a live Instagram feed the whole time. It's just a bunch of scenes of them going, ooh, this is a pretty location. Hey, let's take a selfie. Click. Oh, cool, look at this place. It's a cool location. Let's take a selfie. That is like I mean, a huge chunk of the movie is that. And like, it's just like, oh my God, man. Like, this movie, unlike Sully, like I said, Sully had an investigation, a bunch of different kind of drama going on outside of the actual event. This movie did not. Now, there is some interesting stuff with him going through his military training and certain things that happen that guide him in a particular career path and certain training that he does that ultimately leads to why he's able to stop this terrorist attack or help stop it. So that part was interesting, but they focus on that very little compared to the selfies and the forced drama as kids. At the end of the day, guys, this movie was interesting for the last sequence. I suggest waiting for it to come to like DVD or streaming and then just fast forward it to that ending part and you'll get all you need out of this movie. The rest of it you can kind of skip. I will say the acting, if that's what's holding you back from seeing this, don't worry about that. It's the script you need to worry about. Now, I want to know what you guys think. Did you think this movie was really good? Do you think it could have been better? Do you think there's some other stories you'd like to see movies made about? I don't know. Let me know and comment below. Also, remember, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, all at Niddleman. And stay tuned for more movie reviews if you can handle it. Go.